Yeah, I hope you can hear me okay. Welcome back for another show of the Jarl show. I'm having a bit of technical difficulties regarding sound. I guess maybe the intro that is brand new was a bit low. I apologize for that, but yeah, I tried to play it directly into my streaming thing, and it had actually no sound. So, and that was kind of a last minute thing. So, for that, I apologize. But I hope you can hear me better now, at least. It's been a hectic day, so I hope you bear with me. Before I start, I hope you are watching me either on Twitch or on YouTube, and if you are, I hope you will push that follow button or subscribe button. We are live every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central European time, and trying to give you a little bit of underground music. And if you are interested on having your music featured on our show, please send us a message. You can PM us, you can email us, or yeah, whatever. From next year, we will be sending from a different channel. That is some stuff I'm working on. As of now, I'm sending on my own record label channel, and in the future I want to keep the Jarl show separate. So I'm working on having my own web page up where you can also read about the reviews, not only listen to it. Though I think it's more fun to have it live. And yeah, just going to check here. Okay, so yeah, so if you're interested in that, send us a message. Preferably we do new music. Today we're going to be featuring a band that gave out an album in January, but it's in 2020, so yeah, it's still viable. And also every song that we are featuring on our show, we have of course asked for permission from the band itself, and we do not play the entire tracks. We encourage you to go to listen to the entire album on whatever streaming service you are using. We are using Spotify here, and from all the music that we are featuring, or the albums or yeah, EPs or singles, we always put one or two tracks on the Jarl's playlist, which you can find on the link below, or you can just look it up on Spotify. Yeah, just hear some noise here. So so first off, like I said, we did not do a show last week, and there's a couple of reasons for that. Main reason was I wasn't feeling too good, so I thought it was kind of better to skip that one. So yeah, but also last week I have had a little bit of a run with the DMCA, not the YMCA, but because I don't know if it's YouTube or they have an algorithm or something that picks up the tracks that I feature here. Even though I have permission, I do not actively go and ask the label for permission. I ask the band, because in my experience, the label do not do that much promotion for the bands. So if I am to ask the labels, I rarely get any feedback or message back, or they rarely answer me, and if they do, it's many weeks later. And you know, when I receive promotions from various promoters, I like to, you know, act a little bit fast, you know. So it's kind of a spontaneous thing. So so I have had a little bit of run with some labels on YouTube asking me to you know, remove stuff, in which I have answered back that of course, if that's the case, I will do it, but I did get permission from the band. I have it in written, you know. I messaged them on Facebook, and I took some screenshots and I sent to them, and some of them said okay, that's fine, and some said no, it's not fine. So that's kind of been my last week, a lot. I even had a run with my own music, the music that my label has published, or stuff like that. So, you know, well, that was last week. This is this week, and we are going to start off with some cool music, I think. Let me just get my cheat notes. There we are. So let's jump right to it. Just have a little Christmas soda. It's not alcohol, it's just Christmas soda. It's December, you know, gotta wet that thing. So yeah, we are going to have a look at some of the bands that I have personally had an experience with, and that's kind of cool. First up, we have Black Pyre. Black Pyre is a band that hails from Cardiff, creating a, yeah, like they say, a demonic sound, drawing influence from the cursed grimoires of the old and demonology and classic demonology, and also, which is very clear in their last album, they take a lot of stuff from the Norwegian, the early Norwegian black metal scene, doom metal, dark ambience, and sometimes completely unrelated source. That makes unique and forbidden black metal music. Yeah, there are my English, you know. They're a fairly young quartet that started up in 2017, I think it was. They've already released 2 singles, Summonings, and a single called Summonings and a single called Marbus. Both were released in 2019, and also they had an EP called The Forbidden Tomes, which they followed up with a live album, Live at Winter Eradication 2019, which I don't know, came out 2019, early 2020. Still a little bit unsure on that. And also they did a split release with a Naikinti or a Niakinti. Pronouncement there is probably not right, but the split release called the Reign to Reign in the Halls of Blasphemy / the Forbidden Tomes. So there are 4 guys. They have Asbjørn on guitars and vocals, Oltegor on guitars, Kjøttflate bass, and Dominos on drums. Now, before we go ahead and talk about their latest release, which is Winter Solstice, which came out last week, actually, November 27th this year, we are going to talk a little bit about the Live at Winter Eradication album, which came out in 2019-2020. And the reason I want to talk about that is I was one of the guys who was fortunate enough to be there when they actually did the live, you know. I was playing with my own band. All of us, we were headlining that festival, and you know, that gig, I remember it really good. Even though I was preparing to do my own stuff, I remember listening to the band a little bit in front of the scene and at stage, and a little bit from the backstage, because you know I was getting ready. And I do remember it being they had a really well rehearsed set and was incredibly tight. And when I listen to this live record that they put out, it really brings me back to that place and that concert. The Winter Eradication Festival was held at Fuel Rock Club in Cardiff, which is, by the way, an amazing pub. And if you're a Maiden fan like me, you definitely need to take a trip to Cardiff and that place, because the first thing that hit me when I entered that place, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but you know, they had the Trooper, a glass mural over the main entrance, and yeah, the place was filled with Maiden trivia. So that was kind of, for me, the next best thing I could come to Maiden, you know. So that was a great place. They had a great sound, they had a great stage, and the Winter Eradication Festival was just amazing, and the people in Cardiff also were amazing. Open-minded metal fans. So yeah, if you're ever in Cardiff, go there and have a pint. If you have the possibility to play there, don't even hesitate about it. So that was a little bit about that. That was a great gig from Black Pyre, which I still remember to this day, even though it's over. It's almost 1 year ago. I remember it was about right before Christmas, in December, right before Christmas. So 1 year ago, actually. Well, back to the matter at hand. Winter Solstice. I did order a hard copy of this album, but you know, as thing is today, and you know, everything moves more slowly with the mail and stuff, so I haven't received it yet. I did talk to the band, and I know they had a little bit delay in the printing section of this album, so but I have gotten confirmation that the album is on the way, so I'm looking forward to taking a look at it. I wish I could have it here and show it to you, but you know, you can you can check out the logo here, right? Or you can Google it for yourself. Yeah, the album, like I said, was released November 27th and consists of 10 tracks. The band described the album as written under the dark moon of winter, exploring the mystery of worlds beyond and the spiritual connection of the demonic and of the solstice. And as many records is these days, this was also recorded in various places at Woodcroft Audio and Longwaves Studios. The album was mixed and mastered by W.T. Philpott Music and Production, and the album is a self-release. Now I will be playing a track soon where you can hear for yourself, but in this album you can clearly hear the effort that has been put into this album, and it's clearly inspired by old Norwegian black metal. Sound wise, the album is very easy to listen to. You know, I don't have to you know, I don't know what the English term is, but I don't have to, you know, point my ears or try to find different instruments, which I usually do when music isn't well put together or produced or mixed or mastered right. You know, when you really have to make that effort to find the guitars or the bass or something like that. This is just top notch. Yeah, and sound-wise, the album is also very punching. It's a punching track. The tracks you will find like in Pale Apparition and Underworld, two short tracks that gives the album this melodic, atmospheric feeling to it. Pale Apparition slides directly over to their main track, Winter Solstice, making these two tracks kind of inseparable. I think you need to hear that for yourself, so I will play those two tracks. Pale Apparition is a very short track, you know, it's like an intro to Winter Solstice, so but it works kind of well. So if you don't mind, let's do it. Also, I've had a little bit of technical problems when it comes to the sound, so please excuse me if the music is too low or too high. Let me know. I will try to adjust. So here we go. right, that was Pale Apparition and Winter Solstice, also the title of this album from Black Pyre. Uh, Sound-wise, there is not much to put my finger on. I know it's not easy to mix and master black metal music, and if I were to put a little bit details on it, to be specific, but that's it's almost unnoticeable, but I do notice it, bits and pieces here and there where you can hear that yeah, often drums or vocals are the two instrument that kind of suffers the most when it comes to black metal, I think. But in this, there's bits and pieces where the drums could have been a bit notch up. I don't mean on this track, but I mean on the album in general. There are small parts, but they are basically unnoticeable. So if you don't hear them, or I don't claim to have an expert ear, but I know when I have to listen a little bit extra and focus. And there are small bits and pieces, but there are hardly noticeable. So if you don't really look for them, I don't think you will hear them. So it's kind of not a big deal, because it's such a small part in some places, and I guess it's because other sounds take dominance, so it might just be that. Like I said, Pale Apparition and Winter Solstice are two tracks that goes hand in hand, and it's kind of it's not weird, but if you do not hear Winter Solstice with the Pale Apparition, it gives it a bit different sound image. The same goes for Underworld and Black Magic Heresy. There are also two tracks that are kind of bound together. Maybe not as much as the last two, but I think we should listen to it, and you can see for yourself. Yeah, that was Black Pyre with Underworld going over to the track Black Magic Heresy. So that was two, or actually four of the tracks from this 10-track album, Winter Solstice from Black Pyre, came out November 27th. So like I said, that's not much to put your finger on this album. It's well put together. It's consistent throughout the tracks. It doesn't, add too much of something totally different. If I were to rate this album, which is kind of a part of what I do, trying to be a little bit objective, since I kind of saw their show and I kind of became a little fan, I would rate this 8 out of 10. I was almost going to say 8.5, but I have to be a little bit objective and try to put my fan side aside. So 8 out of 10 I would think, and I really looking forward to hearing more from Black Pyre. And if they're ever going to play live, either in Norway or if I'm ever in Great Britain or even in Cardiff or wherever, I'm definitely going to make an effort to go and see them, and so should you. So I recommend you going to whatever streaming service you are using and look up Black Pyre and Winter Solstice, and of course all their other stuff too. You can order the album from their Bandcamp. I will put more links to this video when this show is over, but like I said, I had a little bit of difficulties, so I just didn't have the time to put all the links, but I will put the links to Bandcamp and stuff like that onto this later. Now to pick two tracks to go on the Jarl's playlist, which I have already done, and they are on that playlist now, and you can find it if you go to Spotify and search for the Jarl. I would be putting Hyreth. That's kind of difficult to pronounce, I think. Hyreth and Black Magic Heresy. I would put those two tracks on the playlist. Yeah, I hope to get to see them. It was a great album. I can't wait to get it in my mail, so I can take a closer look at it. But of course, I have heard it a couple of times on Spotify. Like I always do, I listen to it on my sound system, and then I also listen to it on my headset, because my sound system has different kind of sound settings, and my headphones are kind of plain sound. Yeah, so there you have it. Black Pyre, Winter Solstice. Go check them out. Now, like I said, I was at that festival, the Winter Eradication Festival, and we had a great sound playing there. Not only a great sound, I had a great time. It was, it was really good. I remember we played in Bristol at the Griffin, which was kind of a new experience. I never played a place before that didn't have a stage, just a rather large living room, to say at least, and we didn't have that much equipment, so we ended up playing almost in a circle, you know. That was kind of fun. I never. It's the kind of experience that you kind of do not expect. That often gives you the funniest stories, the greatest pleasures, and stuff like that. So when we played in Bristol, I was kind of hilarious. Had a great time. And when we played in Cardiff, it was a great stage. So it was like going from one thing to a completely different thing. And we had a great sound, and we had a great sound guy there by the name of Rob Inell. And that is what brings us to Bristol, from Cardiff to Bristol, actually. Because the next band that we're going to feature, let me put it up on the screen here for you. It's, I don't know how to pronounce it, because I try to, you know, sometimes I do that because I'm not terrified of it, but often when you pronounce names, you often pronounce it wrong. And this band is called Dies Holocaustum, but you know, that could also be said in Italian or you know, or in German. So it depends on how you say it. But Dies Holocaustum is actually our next feature. Which is hailing from Bristol, started as a solo project in 2013 by a guy called John Alcover. Dies Holocaustum exploded onto the Bristol death metal scene in 2018 after the addition of the drummer Will Person from Body Harvest and Robinell on bass and vocals. The recruitment of Calum Schmidt from Voluntas on guitars saw them shoot to the grand final of Bristol Metal to the Masses competition in 2019, and with a full-length album released in January 2020. And Holocaustum plays a kind of brutal, melodic and fast, old-school thrash and death metal. Even though the project started in 2013, their first release as Dies Holocaustum came in 2019 in the form of a single called The Glories of Hell, which is also a part of the album Scorched Promised Land, which we will be reviewing here today. A Scorched Promised Land come out in January this year and consists of 11 really brutal tracks, to be honest, and it's not hard to hear that the guys are well schooled in what they do. It's a self-produced and self-released album. I talked to Rob earlier today, who told me that a new remastered version is on its way, so the new remastered version will be exciting to listen to, because you know, the only thing I had to put on this album, if I were to put my finger on it like I tried to do, is the sound, the mastering. You know, not that great, but not terrible. I'm not saying that, but I will look past that, seeing as they are doing a remastered version of it. So I will definitely be listening to that. So we will try to we'll try to look beyond the sound. The sound has a little bit of, you will hear later, has a little bit of, you know, that I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, you just have to listen to it. It's hard to find the words. It's, like I said, it's not bad sound. You hear everything very well and stuff like that. But you can clearly hear that it has room for improvements. The first track for me that stands out on this album is track number 5, called Funeral Dawn. It's just a track that it's brutal. It starts off by punching you directly in the face, you know. This right here is when a real underground meets brutal death metal at its best, I think. So we are going to have a listen to it. You know, if I had a soul, it would definitely punch a hole in that. So, but keep in mind that a remastered version is actually on its way. So here you will have Brutal Dawn. Yeah, that was Funeral Dawn. I think I said Brutal Dawn earlier. I meant Funeral Dawn, but you know it's brutal, so kind of wrong, even kind of right, even though I was a little bit off for the name. That's because I written, I don't know, I had a brutal, it was brutal in my mind, so I written down Brutal Dawn, but it's Funeral Dawn actually. Now that if that track if that track doesn't punch you everywhere, I don't know what will, you know. And this track here is really it says it all about the band, you know, what they are capable and what I hopefully will come in the future. Now the next track we are going to play is Terms of Coven. It's track number 8 on this album, and I was talking to, you know, Rob earlier today, and he said that he personally found this track to be one of his favorites. Especially, he said it was in the middle part of this track, and I know I know exactly what he means, and you can clearly hear that when listening to this track. So we will just jump right to it and play Terms of the Coven. Yeah, that is also one brutal track to say at least. You know, I find the vocals here kind of cool. You know, a little bit different. Not really sure what he's done to it, but it works very well. Well, so you know, both these tracks starts out with a bang and just punches you everywhere, and I love it. It's just how brutal trash and death metal is supposed to be. Uh, and usually I just when it comes to an album, I usually just feature two tracks on the other band. I had to do four, but two of those were connected to the others. So and there is a reason why I really needed to play a third track here, because I don't know I don't know if I should say it, but and it's not because it's bad or anything like this, but when I first heard this next track that I'm going to play, I actually laughed a little bit. So I wasn't sure if I was to play it, but listened to it a couple of times. I found it to be brilliant the way they did it. They put something at the start of this next track, which is just it's amazing. It's brilliant, and yeah, and it's funny. You're going to listen to it. So please don't shoot me for laughing, but if you laugh with me, then I kind of feel a little bit better. But the track and is good. It's a track called Leatherface, and you will hear why. You will hear why. I won't play too much of this track because you know we have 12 minutes left and we need to pick a number and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm going to give you Leatherface, and I hope you like it. And if you like me, you will kind of find it a little bit funny too, I hope, but in a good way. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to play too much of that, but they use a friggin' chainsaw in their music. Who does that? Who? Yeah, he said that it's a sample because they couldn't get a real chainsaw, but I'm sure if they could, they would actually have a chainsaw in their studio. Who does that? I mean, and bloody brilliant. I'm sorry, and I'm not supposed to use bad words, but in this case, it's not possible to use any other words. So yeah, when I heard this, I'm sorry, still makes me laugh a little bit because it's a trash song. It's a chainsaw. Yeah, go figure. Yeah, doing that live, I think it's one way to clear the stage, have a little bit of room. But yeah, I don't think you need a microphone on that one to be honest. I think you can just start it up. Yeah, so there you have it. Go check them out. I've linked Facebook and Spotify, and I will link Bandcamp and stuff like that later on after this show. Now I was really having a hard time putting a number on this one because I tried to put aside that it hasn't been really mastered, and they are doing a remaster on it, so I'm really looking forward to getting to hear that one. But the album is straightforward trash, death, brutal metal, and a fracking chainsaw. So looking past the sound, I'm going to give this a sturdy 7.5 out of 10, and I will also wait in excitement for the remastered version. Now, the tracks that are going on the Jarl's playlist or have already done so is The Funeral of Dawn, which I found to be one of the most brutal song on this track, even this album, even though most of them are really brutal, and I just can't get past Leatherface. So of course that one went on the list also. You can find the Jarl's playlist. I've linked it below the video on YouTube, and also if you just search for it on Spotify. Yeah, so please go and check them out on their Facebook, YouTube, or Bandcamp and stuff like that. You know, it's not easy being a musician or band these days. I've said it. I think I said it in all my shows that I really hope that you you know, help local underground bands, because it's not possible to travel around and doing gigs, and I know a lot of bands are relying on that, because that's where they can sell their merch. When I go to a concert, it's so much it's such a big chance that I will leave that concert with either a band t-shirt or a CD, or probably both. But just listen to bands or music on the internet. I don't go to their other pages and purchase you know, merch and stuff like that, because if I did, I would, you know, need a second apartment or a second office to just to store it. So but when I go to concerts, I like to have a memory of it, so I usually buy a t-shirt or an album, or usually both. So but what you can do, you can listen to the music. You can go on your Facebook, and if you really liked it, you can say, just listen to this cool band, and put up a link on that. Or if you're on if you like me, on different Facebook groups and stuff like that. I know many musicians do that. They post their own music there, but actually it's not a bad idea to, you know, help a fellow musician out and do stuff like that. That's what I try to do here. So still 5 minutes left of the show. I actually ran out of materials, just featuring 2 bands these days, because you know, like I said last week, I had to do a lot of work with people saying I haven't had the proper rights to do this, so I had to, you know, have a discussion with some of them. Actually, you discussed with YouTube, and they pushed the discussion further. But so maybe in the future we will focus on more underground and unsigned band. I don't know, just to keep the show flowing. From next year, I'm hoping to have the Jarl show on its own channels, separate from my record label, because I don't wanna mix those two. I do have a record label, and I do have the Jarl show, which is totally 2 separate things, really. And there are other reviews on my on the channels, and hopefully in the future we will also have our own website doing the reviews for you to read also. But that's a story for later. For now, I really hope you all stay safe. Thank you for watching, and if you want to see more in the future, you can press that subscribe button or follow button. And if you have something you like to share, please share with us, and we will see if we can't do the same. So have a great night, and yeah, Merry Christmas and stuff like that. Stay safe.